Buen día. La verdad que no sé si va a poder hablar. En estos últimos días, estuve pensando, dándole vuelta a ver qué iba a decir, qué podía decir. La verdad que no me salía nada. Estaba bloqueado, como no estoy ahora todavía. Es muy difícil esto para mí, después de tantos años, de hacer toda mi vida acá. No estaba preparado. La verdad que el año pasado, cuando se armó todo el lío del Burofax y todo eso, sí que lo estaba, sabía lo que tenía que decir y estaba convencido. Pero este año no. Este año estaba convencido mi familia y yo de que íbamos a seguir acá, que íbamos a seguir en nuestra casa, que era lo que más queríamos.
I think, like many people, as I'm watching it, that somehow somebody was going to stop the press conference and say, no. Hey, it's not happening. We've managed. Here it is, last minute deal. We figured it out. We got the numbers. We figured out with La Liga. We figured out with Barcelona. Lionel, you don't have to leave.
No one could believe that. The best player of all time, he wanted to stay, and the club he was playing all his career couldn't pay, couldn't afford, and couldn't find a solution. It looked so unreal. It was such a big impact and such a big surprise.
I never quite believed it. I just thought that he was one of those players that would always be at Barcelona, that Barca would always find a way to keep him, and that they would always have this kind of, they'd stare each other out every now and again and try and, get the edge over each other, but they always seem to stay together.
I was like, first of all, kind of surprised at the beginning, because I thought that Laporta, who was the president by then, he was going to keep Leo Messi because of the relationship that they had in the first era of Laporta as president of Football Club Barcelona.
It was an ending that we knew it was coming at some point, but it came earlier than we had anticipated. He was almost pushed out the door because they simply could not afford him.
It went wrong because the people running that club, whether you blame Laporta first spell, whether you blame Bartomeu, whoever you want to blame, but people who were running that club messed it up completely. This is, for me, it's as simple as that. Nothing to do with Messi, nothing to do with his talent, nothing to do with how much money he wanted in terms of contract.
Things came to the fore owing to a number of factors. Obviously, the fact that he had an enormous contract, one which frankly is difficult to justify.
555,273,619 euros was apparently how much his contract was worth when he signed it back in 2017.
All the people blame Bartomeu since Messi wanted to stay, since Laporta wanted him to stay beside the final problems. So that's why Bartomeu for me is the main guy to blame in this situation.
If you're a Barcelona fan, you first blame Bartomeu, without a doubt, because once again, and it's not just me picking on him, although I don't like him, the way he ran that club during his years as the Barcelona president was an absolute disgrace, and he almost dug in, really, the tunnel in which Messi left to go to Paris.
The fans, the supporters, they didn't follow the rules, and they went to the Camp Nou to demonstrate, to show Messi his support. We saw pictures of fans crying with Messi's t-shirts, with a lot of signs or words saying, please Messi stay, do whatever, insulting the previous president Bartomeu.
Is anyone guilty of this situation? I mean, I don't want to go on and on about the inheritance and the awful decisions that were made in the past, but we haven't had 6 months. We've had less. I said that we would do everything possible for Messi to stay at Barca within the economical situation of the club. And we reached an agreement with Messi, but we weren't able to formalize it. because of the economical situation that the club is going through.
A mi m'agradaria saber, l'altre dia el president Laporta va dir que no estava disposat a hipotecar el club per ningú, si els últims dies, a les últimes hores, tens la sensació que el Barça ho ha fet tot per tu, que ha fet l'impossible perquè seguissis vestint la samarreta del Barça. Gràcies.
No sé, lo que tengo claro es que yo sí hice todo lo posible. El club, Laporta, dijo que no se pudo por un tema de liga, pero escuché muchísimas cosas que se dijo sobre mí, por qué no seguía o lo que sea, pero te puedo asegurar que de mi parte también hice todo lo posible para quedarme, porque quería quedarme. El año pasado no quería quedarme y también lo dije, y este año sí que quería y no se pudo.
But there was a long time between Laporta being elected, taking over, reviewing everything, realizing how bad things were, and they were really bad, and the moment where Messi thought it was all there, new contract in place for him to stay, and actually realizing, oh, hang on a minute, what, you can't keep me?
And I think he probably would have gotten the new deal in ordinary circumstances, if not for one crucial factor. The fact that Barcelona were already in a really, really difficult financial position. This was partly down to some poor decisions that they made, some poor use of resources, poor signings, expensive signings that they made. And that in turn was all made worse, on top of that, by COVID. And obviously the pandemic affecting Barcelona more than most because they've got one of the biggest stadiums in Europe, which got shut down. The Barcelona Museum is the second most visited museum in all of Spain. Had there been no pandemic, there would have still been wrong decisions in my view, but the situation wouldn't have been so bad, and maybe Messi would have been at the club, and maybe there'd be a whole alternate timeline, like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I think circus is the right word because it was handled so badly, from start to finish, and one day we will really know exactly what happened. As one day, someone will tell the truth.
The club themselves, they told us, the journalists, we are always next to Barcelona, that everything was done. The message we were receiving all the time is, don't worry, we have it sorted out. We will find a solution. It's difficult, but this will be happening. There will be a renewal of Lionel Messi. So that was the message we were receiving off the record all the time.
It felt to me, and from what I could gather, certainly when it was announced that he was leaving, that there was either miscommunication or they were just lies.
It's difficult to believe that the decision to leave was about money, or that it was about La Liga rules and whatever. Because frankly, it wasn't. You managed to sign Sergio Aguero, right? You're telling me that you couldn't have given that same money that you gave Sergio Aguero, you couldn't have given it to Messi. Honestly, but this is a question that nobody's ever satisfactorily answered to me.
Such a romantic football story ending in such a ugly divorce, a crazy thing that no one could understand, and it took time for the fans to go back to Camp Nou. We saw so many games at the Camp Nou half empty. It took time for them to say, okay, that's a part of this club, of my club story, that it's gone.
Bueno, a ver, Leo quería quedarse, por lo tanto.
Leo wanted to stay.
No está contento.
So he's not happy.
Todos teníamos la intención y las ganas de que se quedara.
We all wanted him to stay.
Pero él ahora pues también se enfrenta como nosotros a la realidad.
For him right now, it's a situation in which he has to confront reality. It's a reality that can't be changed.
Yo lo que sí que ya sabe él y su familia.
And he knows that I wish him the best wherever he goes.
Si este ha sido el momento más difícil de tu carrera deportiva.
Sí, creo que sí, sin duda que.
I am 100% certain something could have been worked out if they'd wanted to work it out, but they didn't.
I don't know, but it's so ugly, and it's certainly not the way the whole story should have ended for, again, the greatest player in club football history, and what he did for that football club for 20 years. how I reacted when I really believed that he was leaving. Yes! 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 Because then there was only one club he could join, and that was my club. It was PSG.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.